Program will begin shortly. Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Test 1, 2, 3. Live, High Valley Sports Online, bringing you West Virginia Coaches Show, our initial one kickoff. We're here at Basil Sports Bar in Fallsby with owner-operator Aaron Basil. Wanted to say hello to everybody here. Going to tell you how happy we are to be here, kick off this season that we're going to do here with West Virginia coaches. Aaron, I'll tell you, really impressed with the building, man. I love the doors opening over here, man. Got a really nice setup over here.
Thanks. We worked really hard to get it to a place where it'd be a great atmosphere and a good place to bring your family and just hang out and have a good time.
Crowd's coming in already. It's going
They
to be a big night. Want to welcome you along with Steve Daly and Danny Vogel here in Fallsby, West Virginia, High Valley Sports Online.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. That's right.
Come up the river a little bit. Weird.
Thanks for telling me. Well, you know, like I
let you go.
got a lot of relatives in Fallsby.
Ray wasn't strong in geography.
No, he was across the pond.
Well, you know, like we're off to a running start, as you can see, everybody. But Aaron, tell us a little bit about Basil's. I mean, third time I'm here, really impressed with it. The wings are great. What do you got going on?
We are open Tuesday through Saturday. During the week, we open at 11:30, and our kitchen closes around 10. On Saturdays, we open at noon for all your college games. We'll be here all day if we can get them on. Friday nights, we cook a little bit later than 10 o'clock, depending on the football games and when they're ending and where they're at. So always call and double check before you head down. We have a happy hour during the week, 4 to 7, where you get discounted drafts, and then we have buckets of beer. Lots of good stuff going on.
How's that happy hour go for you?
It goes pretty good. You get to try. I mean, think about it. You're in Weirton, and you can try a bunch
That's
of.
right. We're
in Weirton. Not Fallsby. We're in Weirton. You can try different craft beers for a discounted price. Why not?
Well,
Jump out of your comfort zone.
Well, that's a good thing to do. I enjoy doing that. But I see you with the Weird High gear on, and
Yeah, I'm a Weird High girl.
Coaching. Are you doing Frank Sassini's lesson plan?
I am not. I might need Frank Sassini to do my lesson plans.
Does Frank Sassini do any lesson plans?
You know what? My son had him a few years ago before he graduated, and I do believe he might do some.
That's a good thing. Good to see you. You got a good crowd here tonight. Really, really happy to be here, and we're excited, and we appreciate your hospitality.
We truly love having you guys here. It was a lot of fun last time for 100 years, and let's see how the coaches show goes.
Yeah, we're gonna do this every other Thursday here live from Basil Sports Bar in Weirton, West Virginia, right off the bridge exit to Weirton. What else we got to do here, Danny? We're going to get the coaches. We're going to thank Aaron again for coming in. Aaron, you're the best. We appreciate your time.
So happy to see you again.
You know, and you're going to be the first one on every time we do a show. So
I'm looking forward to that. I'm getting better and more comfortable each time.
Well, tell us a little more about Basil's. I know you told us last time. How long you been here? Because you come from Fallsby was the initial.
Right, they had the Bulldog.
Right,
yes, that's
right,
where you got the Fallsby.
right.
Yeah, we've been here since March of 2014. When we originally opened, we just had the other side. This was not even open yet. And a few years later, we did the dugout. And then over this past year, we opened this little room just to give another avenue.
Was this facility here and it wasn't occupied?
It was not occupied. So we decided to make use of it. We put some garage doors to give a little bit of that inside-outside feel. So when it's like the nice fall weather, we can open them up.
Like tonight.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
awesome. I mean, I love the atmosphere with
yeah.
your patio out there.
We just did that a couple months ago. We decided to put a patio out there for these nice nights. It's a beautiful night. I was out cleaning them off, getting ready for people to come sit.
Pete Basil's a genius, huh?
Let's not go crazy.
But the places connect here, so
Yes,
it's like
yeah.
2 bars in one with
Yeah.
a patio.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's a really nice setup. Want to encourage everybody to come over here and give it a try. We're going to be here every other Thursday. As long as these West Virginia teams stay alive, we're going to go through the playoffs. We're going to run with them. So we're looking for big things. And
I am
once
too.
again,
I mean,
we
I might be
appreciate-
partial to Weir High, but I'm looking for big things for them.
Well, that's,
Right.
hey, that's okay to be partial.
Ray, I can vouch for the food too. She'll tell you.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
a regular.
Yeah.
I'm a regular. And you know, if you're looking for some good food, I'm telling
You're some
you.
blue cheese chippers, aren't you?
We're the blue cheese chippers.
You're blue
Yeah,
cheese
we're-
chippers.
There you
Yeah,
go,
he
man. You
loves
know your
those.
customers.
I do. He doesn't have to tell me his name anymore when he calls.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right, then, this is great. Good way to start. Good way to kick it off, and we appreciate it, Aaron, and we'll definitely be in touch.
All right, I'll be around if you need me.
Absolutely.
All right, we
Thank
ready for
you.
Coach Sassini?
Yes, we are.
All right, I'll go get him for you.
All right,
Thanks,
we're gonna-
guys.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Frank Sassini, Weir High head coach, Red Riders.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Okay, we're back here. We're in West Virginia, Basil Sports Bar, and joined by Frank Sassini, along with my partner, Stevie Daly, and Danny Vogel, High Valley Sports Online, but kicking off our initial West Virginia Coaches Show. This segment with Coach Sassini, sponsored by Blakemore Insurance Agency, our good buddy Bill Blakemore. Frank's going to kick, Coach Sassini's going to kick us off, going to be followed by Coach Fetty at 6:30. Oak Glen, Doug Taylor at 7 o'clock, and at 7:30, Brook Bruins, Mac McLean. Coach, been a couple years in the making here talking about doing this. You got us over here to do the 100th year of Weir High. Big year for you. I don't want to steal none of Stevie's thunder, but I'm going to go with my notes here to kick this off, and then I'll turn you over to Steve, Coach. But, you know, you got a good thing going here in the 100th year of Weir High football. We were had such a good time coming over here and seeing the Weir High greats. You get a big win. You're coming off an emotional win. You're coming in at 4-0. You beat the number 2 team in the state. You were ranked number 7th. You showed an explosive offense with Strohmeyer with 3 TDs, Corey Lyons with 2, and you got G. Cross, the basketball player. Don't get him hurt.
We won't even talk about
Coming in with 100 yards receiving. And from there, Coach, tell us a little bit about your season to date and, you know, your initial feelings.
Well, very excited, obviously, but you always start the year off with Oak Glen, and to get that win and to get the Carl Hamill Trophy, you know, and retain it is what we did this year. And you always want to come out and be explosive in the first game, and that's exactly what had happened. So a lot of the maturity came into play there because we've got so many seniors that are back. So our kids knew what was in stall for them for the opener, and then, you know, you take that into week 2, which is a very tough week we had for us in Toronto, a very good team. So to go into that environment, and I always talk about it all the time, if we can get ourselves in those scenarios where we can be challenged on the road with a tough crowd and a veteran team that, you know, Coach Frankie had over there in Toronto was always, you know, in our mind was going to be a challenge. So we went over there and played well, and, you know, to come out of that where we wanted to be, we were very ecstatic. And then to come home and have 100 years of Weir High football celebrated, which you guys were a large part of, and we thank you for that, because what an evening we had here just at Basil's, and you got to see all the legends that had come in, and it was really cool for us because we talked about it for so long, and it really came to fruition, all of us coming together and had a great night there, and it led into a great Friday night, and we did real well against a very well-coached and competitive Indian Creek team.
Coach, you had 200 alumni come back.
Yeah, it was a strong outing.
Yeah,
we had about 100 here and then another 250 that showed up on campus, and we had a nice setup there, and I thank the administration for what they had stepped up and done for the Weir High football program and more or less the Weirton community, because there were so many people intertwined with Weir High football that we were happy to see that atmosphere, and there were so many hugs and stories told that night. I wish I could remember some of them, but just to hear any of them was something I wanted to accomplish. And you got to speak with a lot of the greats here at Basil's, and we were excited for that whole evening, and we played well in front of those guys, which was the goal. And then we knew that going into week 4 we'd have the Frankfort game, and knowing that Coach Whiteman and his staff who traveled from the Eastern Panhandle, we're talking 4-hour trip on a bus, is crazy, but that's how it is in the state of West Virginia based on where we are located. And to get a challenge, we talked to them about coming in and playing and getting on the schedule with a 2-year contract. And they went to the state semis last year. They had gone into the state semis and lost to Herbert Hoover, who eventually went on to the Super 6 in Wheeling and lost to Independence. So we knew we were getting with Frankfort football, and that's why we wanted that challenge on the schedule. And it was an impressive night for our kids across the board and our coaching staff of what had happened and transpired, because it was more or less like a heavyweight fight back and forth. We couldn't stop each other, and then the game basically settled in the second half, and we come out victorious there.
Right. Well, Coach, one thing I wanted to mention, excuse me, Steve, is I think you got a great situation, coming in at Weir High. You being the head coach, but, you talk about the 100 years of Weir High football. You got Ted Arnaud, Jr., ex-coach, principal. Then you got Dan Enich, superintendent, ex-football coach. I think that bodes good things for Weir High for the mere fact of these are sports-oriented people, and right. I believe in reality, academics is the major part, but I think sports carry a district, man. And you got sports-minded people at the top. I really like your situation.
No, I agree with that. And to me, sports are the greatest positive behavior program you have in the building, because when I talk to a kid and I say, you're going to deal with me on the hill, opposed to going to the office, they straighten up real fast. And I know that's the scenario with a lot of high schools and schools in general, but to have those guys who are athletic-minded and more importantly, academically minded, that we have a strong situation, and they're building off what had been laid in place, which was strong already. So we're happy and pleased to see what's in charge there right now with the leadership at the high school and throughout the county. And, I couldn't be happier to be in the forefront of the football program right now.
Well, Coach, you're 4-0, and things are going good for you. Stevie.
Yeah, Coach, just talking a little bit more about that Frankfort game last week. They came in, they brought in a wing T offense into that game, which can present a lot of problems for the defense. Now, they were able to compile 286 yards on the ground, but most of those yards came in the first half, from what I understand. And your defense was able to step it up. Game was tied 21 at the half. Your defense comes out in the second half, forces 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions, forced 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. Talk a little bit about the halftime adjustments with your defense to slow down and control what is a high-powered offense in the second half.
Absolutely, and one of the biggest challenges for the week was getting our scout team to learn all that stuff.
That's the next thing I was going to bring up, Coach.
So you brought a great minds think alike. So, that was a challenge. When you face a wing T system, those guys, it's like a cult, just like the spread offenses. Those guys have their system they have in place, and they're very efficient in what they do. And we had jumped into some different looks to try to limit some of the pulling that was going on. So they were hitting the perimeter on us in the first half, and they we lost our edge, and they hit the edge a few times. And you guys know as well as anyone, when you watch a team on film, it's different when you get the eyeball test and you finally see them live. So they were quicker than what we thought on the edge, and they were hitting that. And basically, to be honest with you, the game plan and the adjustment to half was get back to ourselves, get back to our base stuff, and play our brand of football that we know best, and doing some things, limiting a lot of the new stuff and going back to our base stuff.
Right. So kind of taking the thinking out of it and letting the kids just react and use their ability.
We knew we could jump back in and out of stuff, but that was really it, just to get back to Weir High football, what we've been doing in the previous 3 weeks.
Right. Now, on the opposite side of the ball, offensively, you had 182 yards rushing, 190 yards through the air. Very, very balanced for a total of 372. Ray mentioned that your quarterback, Stromal, had a big night passing and rushing, 3 total TDs. So talk a little bit about your offense. I know you got a ton of weapons.
Good problems, right?
Yes, good problems to have. What do you like to do for some of our viewers and some of our listeners? Are you going to spread it out? Are you going to change conventional to spread back and forth? How do you utilize all those weapons?
This is a cliche thing, but it's almost like you want to take what they're giving you.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some skill on the perimeter, but we're really getting a lot of strong play up front. And, we know that we want to, run the ball first. That was a mentality we had, and we built into play last year. And we knew that Malachi Stromal was progressing in our passing game, and we saw it throughout the summer. And then as we hit week 1, week 2, week 3, we saw that we were becoming more efficient through the air, along with the ground and pound that we had going on. So he became more of a dual threat now with the way he runs the ball, and we are seeing a lot of strong play from him, and obviously our offensive line, but we're also getting our matches on the perimeter. So we have our shots we want to take as the game progresses, but we want to be, ourselves and do what we do between the tackles. But if we have that shot in the perimeter, we'll take it. And you saw it a few times in the Frankfurt game with G. Cross. We hit one there.
Right, absolutely.
Coach, left-handed quarterback, does that make you a left-handed team, or do you really, really coach to the fact that don't be a left-handed team?
Well, to an extent, you want to do what you do best, but, with him being a senior now, throwing the ball around, it's really getting your shoulders squared away. You need to be throwing it. But Malachi's done really well with that. So like I said, balance. We're trying to hit both sides of that so we don't have a tendency that we're building. So there's some things we're doing off, other things that we're doing the most of this year. So it's really trying to eliminate some of the tendencies, but at the same time, we're going to try to stay balanced on both sides.
Coach, I don't want to sound I have no knowledge, but I'm saying when you start out, we're trying to catch up first time that we got a chance to talk to you. When you start out 4-0, and you saw them through preseason and where you're at, can you truthfully say this is where you thought you'd be at this time of the year at 4-0?
I don't know about exactly 4-0. We're happy where we're at, but I could tell you that when you start the season, Coach knows that you want to look at your scrimmages and give us some competitive scrimmages. So we had gone against Beaver Local, who's a very strong program with Mike McKenzie. So we did really well there. So we were happy with that scenario. Then we hit the road, and you always want to learn how you not so much playing, but how do you travel as a team. So we went down to North Marion and scrimmaged against the number 1 team in Double-A in the state of West Virginia. So we come out of that, where we thought we were playing a pretty good brand of football. So we knew going in early on that we could be at this point 4-0. Obviously you have some things that happen for you along the way, but, having a senior-laden group with as many as we have, that we always knew that we could be at this point, and that was the premise of bringing in a Frankfurt that we can go ahead and challenge yourself and see where we're at. It was an idea that we thought we could be here, but, we're very, very happy with where we're at this point.
How's your numbers, Coach?
We got 51 kids. Very
It's a
strong.
nice number.
Yeah,
Nice
very
number.
very strong numbers for Double-A in West Virginia. And what's really exciting is we have a very strong freshman group as well. So we're looking at almost 20-some freshmen. So what's really cool about this whole thing is we have about 15 seniors or so, and then these young freshmen are watching these older kids and how do they approach things in the day-to-day.
Yep.
And it's a culture, which you guys know too, which is just as important.
So, you mentioned those 15 seniors, Coach. I mean, they've been with you throughout the process. And, how have you seen them as a group grow and mature, from the time that you started with them to where they are at now?
Oh, yeah, because, they were dominant in middle schools. One of them groups where you know that they're a competitive tight knit group when they do everything together. You know, not just in the basketball court or the fields, but when they hang out and everything. So that was this group, and when they came in, we knew we would have to put them out there during a COVID season.
Right.
And there's a few of them that made the field on Friday night, which isn't the greatest situation when you got a freshman out there.
Right.
But as they were going through this, they were taking their lumps the first 2 years, and then last year's when we really flipped the corner or turned the corner with making the West Virginia State playoffs with this group as juniors. So it's been a maturation process where they're definitely hitting their strides when it comes to not only just football but other sports they're playing, but also what we're seeing in the weight room as well.
Right. Coach, like the three names I got written down are Lyons, Strohmau, and Cross. Those guys are multi-sport players. You have a bunch of them on your team? That's a good sign.
Yeah, we have kids that are across the board. And you're in our scenario where there's about 630 students in our school that you can't possibly say that one kid can be mine. So we're going to, spread them out and they play everything.
I like it.
We're, for me, you should be playing basketball, baseball, track, everything, wrestle. We want all the kids involved in everything, especially at our high school. We have so many groups that are athletic that they need to play everything.
Right. So a lot of exciting things happening right now at Weir High. I know Jim DeCarlo and I did some games on the new softball field this past spring. You said that there's some work going on now to extend facilities and build up facilities. So, all those things kind of, in your opinion, don't they just kind of tie in together and hand in hand? You've
Absolutely.
turned the corner now. You've turned the corner now with the program. You've got all these great things going on within the school district itself. Can you see this really building even further off of that now as you move forward?
Absolutely, because of the leadership we have at the Board of Education and how things are going in across the board. Not only right now Weir High's getting, but Oakland's going to be getting the stuff next. Last year was the turf. Both high schools got the turf. And then the softball field come into play. And, if you've been up there lately, the baseball field's just about done. It's about 90% done.
Right.
And, today, or yesterday, I should say, they roped everything off and fenced it off because they're going to start the new physical education side of the building where there's going to be a new weight room, new cheering dance room, a new athletic training room, and an auxiliary gym. And what's really nice about this whole thing, I know Coach Taylor will be happy, but our weight room now will become the new weight room downstairs, and then the weight room becomes the new wrestling room. So the wrestlers, everyone's getting
Right.
something.
That's
huge.
great to have all those facilities for all your sports right there, too, right on campus. That's a great thing.
Yeah,
to
we're
have.
very happy with the direction right now.
Yep.
Coach, any standouts that you want to talk about in these first 4 weeks? I mean, you're getting production from a lot of people, Coach. I mean, you're spreading it around. How's your defense playing?
They're playing well. I know that we're getting, I got a strong group of coaches with, Coach Leary, Coach Rivera, Coach Hill, are all involved in that side of the ball, and we're a lot of minds that are at work there trying to pull things, the best things out of it that we could do. But we're tailoring this thing now from week to week. When we just talked about the wing T system. That's a whole different approach. When you this week you get in the Union Local, who's now a spread setup that. Now it's, different on the back end and, a little bit more different up front when you come to what you're doing. But we're basically tailoring things to our opponent, which, anyone's doing. But
So you're going from defending the wing T to defending a spread offense this week.
Yeah, yes.
That's fun.
But what's neat is week 2 we were defending that same kind of setup because the way Toronto throws the ball around and stuff. So now we're back to that phase of it. But
You
Oakland was
beat a
wing
good
T.
team. You beat a good team in Toronto. I mean, they really they've bounced back after that Kinsey loss. We're going to get a chance to see them on tomorrow night against Edison. So that was a big win for you. You got a big win this week, this past week. That's 2 out of 4. So you got good things going for you, Coach. And we're going to come back here. We're going to take a quick break when we can here. Well, I guess we're not. Danny's playing with the TV. So
I can go ahead. On with Union Local. So you have Union Local up this week. You're traveling there. They entered a game to 3-2. In week 1, they beat Shenandoah 20-8. Week 2, they beat Buckeye Local 48-7. Week 3, they beat John Marshall 32-25. So they start off the year at 3-0, and now they've dropped 2 games in consecutive weeks. Week 4, they lost 49-6 to a very good Harrison Central team. And then last week, they lost 53-26 to, as you'd mentioned earlier, very good Beaver local team. So, like I said, they start off the year hot, 3-0. They dropped 2 consecutive games, but the 2 teams that they've dropped those 2 games to are combined 8-2. So it's not like, they lost to just anybody. So Union Local, you mentioned there a spread coming in. What are some things you're concerned about facing Union Local as you travel this week?
Well, we don't got to go any farther than last season where they physically beat us up. And we were a playoff team last year. These kids were juniors. They beat us 42-6 handedly. So it's a brand of football that, once again, we want to be a part of because it's only going to make us better. But they are definitely a team that's downhill when they could take it, but they'll also, spread it out and do some things through the air. They had some kids that have graduated, but at the same time, a lot of their returners are up front. So that's a concern to me,
right,
of what they have with their offensive and defensive line. And, to me, that's where it's all played, right? Right, Coach?
Yep.
So, we're concerned with that. And we just know that we have our hands full with this one. And, at the midway point, they're hanging on to their season. Mm-hmm. They're in a situation where they are trying to stay in the playoff hunt in Ohio. I believe, like you said, they're 3-2.
Right.
And we're where we are at week 4 at our midway point. So we know that we're going down there, and it's going to be a tough ball game for us.
Right. Yeah, kids are very aware. They know where they stand at in the state. They know the opposition. With everything that's going on with this social media, Coach, is there any special things any special practice things or any special travel things that you do differentiating from travel and playing at home?
Well, I am the coordinator of all that. So what was unique last year in the playoffs is I was booking hotel rooms, and along with our administration was helping. But, the itinerary and the bus stuff and the meals and all that all falls, on me that's coordinated through our booster groups and stuff. What was unique about this whole thing is my first year of coaching, we were actually eating at the rest stops on the side of the road because COVID. We weren't allowed to go in any restaurants.
Wow.
Right? So I was coordinating that stuff with some booster help. But looking at how we travel, that's all broken down because you want to have consistency throughout because, one little curve with these kids and they could get out of whack. And I just want to keep everything as normal as possible from when we eat to when we board the bus, when we get off the bus, and then when we get taped and all the way through. And the kids laugh at me because I have an itinerary. It's minute by minute. I control every minute of their life from the minute Friday night bell, or the bell rings Friday afternoon until kickoff.
Right. But like you said, no surprises that way.
No surprises, and we'll call it controlled chaos, right?
Right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. High Valley Sports Online with our initial show at the West Virginia Coaches Show with Frank Sassini. We'll be right back after a couple commercials.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This is Ohio Valley Sports Online, your connection to Ohio Valley Sports. Listen anywhere in the world from any connected device, smartphone, tablets, iPads, and computers. Ohio Valley Sports Online brings you live game action from the guys with over 50 years in radio sports broadcasting.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304 844-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
All right, we're back at Basel Sports Bar, our initial West Virginia Coaches Show. It's Frank Sassini, sponsored by Blakemore Insurance Agency, going to be followed by Troy Fetty from Madonna. He's sponsored by Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair. Oak Glen will come up, Coach Doug Taylor, with Pat Cheney, Sunoco Services Station in Chester. And then the Brook Bruins and Mac McLean, sponsored by Vinsurance, Vince Bologna. So we're going to finish up here with Coach Sassini. Coach, 4-0 on the road this week. Got a challenge in Union Local. Any final thoughts?
Basically, we want to be ourselves. I just told the kids as we left campus today that, you're going to be ready for a challenge, and, that's what we're looking forward to down there. And we're just going to be, a group that's going to go in and battle and see what happens, whenever when the game's over, and we'll see where the cards lay and where we're at with this whole thing. But we're happy where we're at. I'm happy with the way the kids are working, and I couldn't be any happier with our coaching staff and the whole scenario what we talked about today. Yep.
Coach, how many looks these days do you get at a team prior to playing them?
Well, a pretty good amount, because nowadays I remember we'd go meet guys and exchange VCR tapes and DVDs and stuff. But now this huddle stuff, man, you could go and make a connection and get a click or two, and you got all this film compiled, and everyone's trading. So there's scenarios where we have multiple games, sometimes whole seasons. It really depends on the relationship you have with other guys and who wants to share what. But we get looks that are different from week to week. Sometimes we'll get 3 games. Sometimes we'll get multiple games.
Other than doing a self scout on yourself, how much film time would you be able to spend with your kids showing them, like, let's say, Union Local?
Well, here's how this breaks down. Basically, we meet on the weekend as a coaching staff, and we go ahead and meet as groups, and we'll watch our film. Then we'll break down our opponent, and we'll put that all together and compile a group of plays and cut-ups that we want the kids to see, because we can't spend too much time on film because we're cutting into our practice minutes. So our coaches do a great job. We want to be efficient with what we're doing off the field as well. So we'll get a lift in, we'll watch them film, show them the mistakes and corrections from our game on the previous week, and then we'll lead into our opponent and go from there. So, if about 30 minutes a week, first 2 days of the week or so, we'll show them what we need to correct in our opponent.
That routine stays consistent for you throughout the year?
Routine is everything with us. So, we're jumping around a little bit because we got coaches that have other obligations with new jobs and stuff. So we might tweak it a little bit here and there, but ultimately it's the same format, and the kids know, what's going to happen from week to week. Because once this thing gets going, we know as coaches that once that kickoff happens week 1, man, before you know it, you blink, it's week 5, week 6, and then you're leading. And here we are now leading into halfway point.
Fastest 10 weeks.
It's crazy.
Fastest 10 weeks in the year.
It's very fast.
Yeah, it is. It just goes by.
August drags, for everybody. But once this thing's teed off and we start playing ball, man, the weeks just roll right along.
Coach, I tell you, been great talking to you. Really happy. We got High Valley Sports Online, got a great relationship with Weir High. We're going to continue to build on that throughout the year, so we're definitely going to see you down the road. Thanks for stopping by.
I appreciate
Good luck
you guys.
This week.
Yes, because we get the support. We appreciate you guys to get the kids' names out there in the school and the community, and we really do appreciate the coverage you guys give our kids in Weir High School.
Well, I think, Coach, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is our intentions. I mean, to really recognize the athletes in the Valley, to go up and down. It varies from year to year how much coverage kids get, so we try and spread it out, and we appreciate the hospitality that Weir High has always shown us.
Well, that's always going to be there. You guys know that, and we'll get you a table next time
get
you're
us
in
a table this year, Danny.
I'll take that. I'll take the lead on that. Get a hold of me in advance.
Get us a table, Coach. I appreciate it. All right, that's Frank Sassini, head coach of the Weir Red Riders, 4-0 on the year, moving up in the rankings in the West Virginia State rankings, sponsored by Bill Blakemore and Blakemore Insurance Agency at Union Local. Coach, we'll see you in 2 weeks, buddy. Good luck. Thank you. We'll be right back after a quick break. with one of our sponsors.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
All right, we're back here at Basel Sports Bar. We don't do anything. We can't get anything done no matter what we're doing. This is the West Virginia Coaches Show here on Thursdays at Basel Sports Bar. And with us is one of our sponsors, Danny McCune of the law firm here in Weirton, Rokiski, McCune, Wilhelm, and Blair. And before we move forward, I want to make sure I have my attorney, Dan Guida, look into the statute of limitations on all them illegal players you brought over to the community center, that termite basketball.
Listen, I'm the youngest of 7 boys. You obviously have me mistaken with one of my brothers.
Ignorance is bliss, right, Coach?
That's right, yeah.
You've been active in the community, which we love. We love the aspect of Ohio Valley Sports Online, being involved with individuals and businesses like yourself that realize how important it is to be active in the community and supporting today's kids. I joked to you about, the days of the Catholic Community Center when we had them termite teams playing. But just like me and Dan talked about on the way over, the only way we did that was we had sponsors for teams, and it's never hard, I don't think, to get people to sponsor what kids are doing.
No question about it. And when you asked us about sponsoring Madonna, we were happy to do that, obviously.
Absolutely.
You may not know this, but there's 5 partners in my law firm. 4 of us graduated from Madonna. Jeff Rokiski graduated in 78. I graduated in 80, just a couple of years ago. Dave Wilharm is another partner who did not graduate from Madonna, but his boys go to Madonna. And Ryan Rokiski graduated in 08, and Chris Blair, if you remember, Chris was a great basketball player, went to West Liberty.
He was.
He played for Crutchfield. He graduated in 03. And so, my children went to Madonna. Ryan Rokiski's kids are in the parochial school system. My nephews and nieces are. And I'm one of 7 brothers who graduated from Madonna.
Well, I knew him. McCune beat me when I played in the Millsop, the Madonna Invitational.
Were you St. Francis's coach? Or?
No, I was. We played for St. Anthony in Steubenville, and there was was it a Pat McCune?
If it was in about 76 and you coach Pete Faris, you're sitting next to the one that beat you.
There you go, my man. We never won that tournament at the Millsop. 17 years. We always got beat, man.
There's not a lot of things I remember and still mad about, but in that tournament, we won pretty handily down at the community center. And
your kids were 15.
No, wait a
7.
second. Pete Faris won the MVP.
Oh, you're talking that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I thought when you come over and beat our travel teams, we had kids 12 years old. You were 15. Jim Emmerling wanted to check birth certificates.
I had a couple of big kids, but Jim didn't want to check our birth certificates for one of our kids. Jim and I went nose to nose a couple of times over the Catholic Community Center. Now we're good friends, so it's funny.
Well, I don't think he's a big threat to hurt you. You know what I mean? Hey, is Wilhelm, was that part of him getting in the law firm? He had to put his kids in the Madonna?
No. In fact, when I joined the law firm, I believe his kids were at the public school system. His son, Grant, played, I think, up through his sophomore year at Weir High. And they were originally in the parochial school system down at St. Paul's, and then he moved them over to the public school system. Then he moved them back to Madonna. So, no, there were no conditions.
Well, like I said, we're really, really appreciative of you reaching out and sponsoring what we're doing here. I know you're active in the community just from your history here. Madonna grad. Madonna's 2-1 this year. Have you got to see any games? You get to go to any games, or you too busy?
I'm going to go tomorrow. And I had the opportunity to go to the Meet the Team night and Meet the Coach night, and got a chance to talk to the parents and kids. And I met Coach Fetty at that time. And I sort of reminded the kids, Madonna's been a basketball school for the last few years, but I tried to remind them of the rich tradition that we've had in football. And, going back to Gene Trosh, who went to the Kansas City Chiefs, and Coach Krivak.
Coach Joe Krivak, Coach Clyde D'Angelo over there.
Yep.
I remember Madonna way back. I mean, they got a big one this week against my alma mater in Catholic Central,
right.
And I think they've played about maybe 30 times in football, and it's a rich tradition. I know that. And we played them. We beat them. They had Mike Vitarelli at tailback. I think he had an offer to go to Notre Dame.
70-71 era.
But they win the they go 8-1-1 that year. Their only loss was to us. They win the West Virginia State Catholic School Championship.
Yep. And
they were a good team.
And I want to say that year they beat Martins Ferry, who was undefeated in Ohio, maybe number one in the state, and their coach told Mr. Miller, I think Woody Miller at the time, we'll take it easy on you, and I think Madonna beat the snot out of them. But
tough kids. I mean, no doubt about it.
We also had a great matchup with them in 2013. Both of us were undefeated going into that game. I believe Ross Comas was the quarterback for Madonna. And
he was a player.
We had Brett Colabella at Steubenville Central, so two of the premier quarterbacks in the Valley that year. Right. Both teams undefeated that game, and Madonna scored with, I think, it was less than 10 seconds left to get the win.
They threw the deep pass down the left sideline over top of Tony Barber. He was a freshman.
Yes.
Made a heck of a play, but I think the Weirton kid, I think the Madonna's kid's name was an Italian boy.
Yeah, it was. I can't
the
think of it.
Little
at the
Italian
moment.
boy, man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
But they both had their hands on
Yeah.
it. They both had their hand. I mean, that was a heck of a game.
Yeah.
It was 8-0. We were there because we were 10-0. We wanted to go to the game. We had dinner in Weirton, and went up to see the Madonna Central game. But I loved the matchup. I mean, both Catholic schools are challenged.
Right.
I mean, in many ways, that the common depend upon guys like you. I remember Paul Duffy when he coached at Madonna. He called Romy Castelli Santa Claus. You know what I mean? So
always helping the school.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that goes into the pride of the parochial school for the mere fact of got a strong alumni. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My parents went to Steubenville Central. They both graduated from Central. And one of my older brothers said they never really cared about the results of the game. But in 1974, Madonna tied Steubenville Central over at Harding Stadium. And my brother said, Mom and Dad came down on the field. They were so happy that day that we tied Steubenville Central because they'd been tired of getting beat and being told about it. So
there you go.
Yeah, sadly, we never played Central when I was in high school. I don't know why they weren't on the schedule, but we played them in basketball and baseball, but not in football. So.
It was, when I was in high school and we played Madonna in basketball, it ended up in a brawl. I mean, Danny Grossi, heck, who else was on that team?
Zonk Pasternak.
I remember.
Dennis Paulsick.
I remember Dennis Paulsick.
Yeah,
I remember that sucker beat us in the Madonna Invitational. He was a point guard.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? St. Joe's?
I think he was a St. Paul's
St.
kid.
Paul's.
Yeah.
I mean, Dennis Paulsick, I tried to get him to interview because his daughter's a principal grad.
Right.
Daughter plays and when I knew, I mean, that guy ruined my life. Man. We were 13-0 going into that Madonna Invitational.
You remember how popular that tournament was?
That tournament was awesome. I mean, the Millsop was like the Civic Arena to kids from Steubenville, man. Was it the Silver Gloves? The Silver Gloves, man.
The Golden Gloves.
Yeah, the Golden Gloves there, man. It was great.
Well, you mentioned Dennis Paulsick, and Dennis and I have a history as well. When I was in high school, I played basketball. I was one of the only football players that also played basketball. And Dennis was one of our assistant coaches, along with Al Beniti, and our head coach was Rich Santilli.
My coach in high school.
Yeah, and so
if
you remember back in the late 70s, there was a guy named Earl Jones who lived in Mount Hope in West Virginia. They were trying to get him to WVU, and so they moved the state basketball tournament up to the Coliseum at WVU, and we had a chance to play in the finals that year. Sadly, we got beat by Morgantown St. Francis, but Dennis was one of the coaches along with Al Bonini, so had great memories of that.
Beautiful, man. It's Dan McCune from the law firm of Rokiski, McCune, and Wilhelm and Blair. We're going to take a quick break, Danny. We'll come back with some final thoughts with Danny before we get on to Coach Troy Fetty.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
Okay, we're back here at Basil Sports Bar in our West Virginia Coaches Show with one of our sponsors, Dan McCune of Rokiski, McCune, Wilhelm, and Blair. Danny, we want to finish up here real quick. Tell us a little bit about your law firm and what you guys do.
So I'm the newest addition to the law firm. Within about 4.5 or 5 years ago, I joined the law firm. They have been primarily an estate planning, long-term care, asset protection, and probative estate law firm. They've sort of evolved over the years to include representing clients, property owners who own oil and gas and mineral rights. So they've
lots of business there.
Leased a lot of acreage for their clients. And then my background is in litigation, so none of those guys there were in the civil litigation side. So when I came, sort of was a nice little transition for me. I've been in a litigation law firm with 3 other lawyers who were litigators, and so when I came, I'm the only litigator in the firm. So the nature of my practice is primarily representing plaintiffs who are injured, wrongful death cases, injury cases that'll go to court and have to be litigated and ultimately perhaps go to a trial.
Well, we appreciate you coming, and like I said, we really appreciate your support. You got a long line of history of supporting things in the community and being involved with the kids, and that's going to get us both into heaven, brother.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
We're glad to do it.
So appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's Danny McCune here with Stevie Daly and Danny Vogel here. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have Coach Troy Fetty. Thank you, Danny.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
He told me, he goes, hey, you can retire. I want to know.
All right, man, we're glad to be joined by Troy Fetty. Pleasure to meet you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Here at Basil Sports Bar and representing the Madonna Blue Dons. Coach, before we get into anything else, you got the job late. Tell us a little bit about how that all happened.
I got hired in late May. I was at Buckeye Local for 2 years. I was the defense coordinator, and I was the head softball coach. Known Ted a long time, Ted Arno. For a long time, he called me. He's like, would you be interested in moving up here and then calling the offense? I've been a defensive guy for 16 years. So I thought it was a good opportunity to, broaden my horizons as a coach. Come up with him, work for Ted. He's a good dude. Learn some off of him because he's been a successful coach in the Valley. He told me about 2 weeks before he got the Weir High principal job that I'm interviewing for the job. I'm probably not going to get it. Just don't have enough experience. And then fast forward, we start practice, go a couple days. Calls me on Tuesday. I'm on the way home because we practice in the evening because we have other coaches can't make it in the morning. And he goes, I got good news and bad news. Good news is you're the head coach now. Bad news is you're the head coach now. So I met with Mr. Ruzak, Phil Ruzak. I've known him a long time. He was our radio guy at Weir when I was there. Met with him. He's like, we're 100% behind you. It's not how I plan to be a head coach. I've always planned to be a head coach. I've interviewed probably 6 or 7 times. Ironically, when Dan Rivera got hired, I interviewed for the Madonna job. I interviewed for the Buckeye Local job. I was second in that one. I've been second in a long time. It's not the way I want it to happen, but I will gladly take the opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. God bless you, man. It's a beautiful attitude. I'm happy for you. Well, we'll talk a little bit about, in basketball, we would always say it's a big deal moving that scene, being where the buck don't stop.
It is ultimately my responsibility, which, I've always wanted that to happen. We got I got some good young coaches that aren't very experienced, and they're coming along pretty well. TJ Miller's my defensive coordinator, who's also the head baseball coach in Madonna. Got John Barnhart, Dave Bowden, and Tom Kakasic just came on 3 weeks ago.
Who?
Tom Kakasic.
Big guy?
Yes, big guy. Yes, he's our
Big
track
Crusader?
coach. Yes, sir.
Yeah, defensive end.
Yes,
I know
sir.
Tommy.
Yes, sir. He said he wouldn't even know him.
Yeah, you tell him I said hello.
He said you and Coach Reno got him into Akron.
Yeah, absolutely. Big Tommy.
So he came on 3 weeks ago, a chance meeting, and then so ran out to 5 coaches. Being in bigger schools, being a Buckeye Local, Weir, Brook, Edison, having at least 35, 40 kids, changing down to we have 20 now has been quite a change in learning how to practice effectively and keep them healthy for Friday night. So that's been,
I'm sorry, Coach, but you say that 20. I mean, that always intrigued me on how I remember talking to. I think his name was Tom West. He used to coach at Valley.
Yes, sir.
He used to coach at Valley, and whenever I was in coaching, and you go to all the conferences and clinics and things, and I always talked to him about that, and he always said, and I couldn't understand it, we never hit. He said, do you hit?
We hit for approximately 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So maybe 20. So we do it on our individual period, and then we have an inside run period. That's our most physical periods there. So twice a week, about 40 minutes a day for the whole week, and that's our physicality. When we do tackle and stuff, we're tackling dummies, shields, the wheels. But as far as person on person, it's individual period, offense and defense, and then our inside run period each way. And we've been blessed.
You think that's been your major adjustment, Coach?
That's my major adjustment because the way I learned how to do it, I learned under Tom Bruni and Tony Filberto, is we have 20 minutes of individual.
Some good names there, man.
20 minutes of individual every day. We're going to have an inside run period. We're going to have a run tech period, which is a fixed problems. Then we're going to do a pass tech, which is all pass rush and stuff. It's defensively or offense. Then we're going to have a skelly period. Then we're going to have a team period where it's basically thud. We bypass a lot of that. We more are learning who to block, and we do the how and the physical part, but we learn mainly on barrels and moving and walks, like an advanced walkthrough. So we go Monday and Tuesdays are heavy day. Wednesday is a short period. It's our short day, pizza day. So we have about an hour, 25-minute practice, which is basically helmets, and it's all run through speed, sweep the corners. We do special teams every day. And on Thursday is a typical Thursday kick the field practices, which we play the game on Thursday. Mm-hmm. And then we get them on Friday night healthy as we can be. And then I'm blessed with kids that when it's 7 o'clock, kickoff time, for 48 minutes they play possessed with their hair on fire. They leave earth and go crazy.
I recognize some names. just from basketball and stuff like that, and we did the Madonna game. We did a Madonna game last year where I was on the sideline. So how's your season going with this 2-1? Talk about that a little bit.
Pretty well. We started off with Wellsville, that was their second game. We started with 15 kids that day, ended with 13. Our kids played immaculate. They played out and was the most physical team. We shut down them to a pretty potent offense they've had there. They get a good running back. Then we picked it up for Hancock. They're improving, and then we did what we had to do that day. I think we got wore out against Toronto. It was 20-7 at halftime, and we come out and score right away, and then they just kind of started pushing on us, and we kind of crumpled a little bit, which that's the main thing we worked on here for our bye week and into here, because we're facing another physical team.
Yeah, Coach. So up to this point, you covered. I was going to bring up that point that you guys were in that first half with Toronto. Matching their physicality and was right in that game. Some of your key contributors, just some names that pop out to me: Chase Littleton, Colton Grishkovich, and Luca Muzzy.
Yeah.
Talk about those guys. Talk about some of your other guys.
Okay, so Chase is our quarterback. He switched in from wide receiver because the quarterback here moved on, and he's doing a great job. He's a great leader. Defensively, he's a defensive end. He really reminds me of a player we had at Weir, is Tyler Komorowski. Non-stop motor. And he never wants to come out of the game. He wants to play every special team. We got to force him off the field to get a drink of water. If we had 20 exactly like him, we'd be very, 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 very good. Colton Grishkovich is a talented athlete. He's our leading wide receiver, and he's playing free safety now. Really, he's a corner because he's filling in for Jonah McKay, who's hopefully going to be back soon. He plays as hard as he can every single play. Luca Muzzy is another kid. He has over 30 tackles at linebacker, runs the ball effectively for us. My other linebacker, my strong side linebacker is Dom Maple, plays guard for us. They are outstanding linebackers for us. They're downhill now physical kids. I'm very pleased with our line. We're pretty big. We're over 220 pounds average. Right. We got Marquise Parker's our left tackle. Andy Caprizi's a freshman. He's about 185 pounds, and he's spelled by Hunter Smith, who's a sophomore at 230. My center's 270. That's Logan Brown. My right guard's Don Maple, and my right tackle is Caleb Kimberland. He's over 230 pounds. We're pretty physical, pretty big line for a single-A football team. We only have 115 kids in the school. We have 55 boys, and we got 20 of them on the football team. We may not have a lot, but we have some quality kids.
What's your breakdown, Coach, of your 20 kids?
We have 6 seniors, 8 juniors, 1 freshman, so 3 or 4 sophomores, and they all play. Matt Gears, another one. He's our starting outside linebacker. He's my Swiss Army knife. He plays fullback. He plays tight end. He plays wide receiver. He's a strong sideline outside backer. He's 195 pounds. We do have some big kids. We just got Logan Feddick. It was a transfer in from Brook. He'll be eligible to play this week. He's 6'4", 195 pounds. He'll slot in at a defensive end and also wide receiver and also kind of a tight end, H-back kind of kid. My other receivers are Andre Crosland. He had an 83-yard touchdown reception against Wellsville. He's another 6'1" kid, can play, can run. KJ Ward and Trent McCartney are my other 2 wide receivers. And then we just got Angelo DeBrasco back, which is another skill kid. He's a cornerback wide receiver. And we have Noah Kimberlin backing up all those positions.
DeBrasco, is that who his brother plays basketball?
Yeah, Santo was his brother who graduated last year. They're tough-nosed kids, all of them. We don't practice always the greatest, but when it comes Friday night, they turn it on. The lights go on, and they go on, and they play as hard as they can for 48 minutes. You're going to be playing Madonna at the end of you played Madonna because we're going to be physical. We aren't very many, but we're very, very physical.
Well, beautiful, man. It's music to my ears. I appreciate that. Stevie, anything?
I was going to go on to this week's game after the break. Yep.
Coach, it's been great talking to you. We're going to take a break, come back, talk to Coach Fetty about the upcoming game with the Crusaders.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
The money.
We're back here. You just heard it. Basil Sports Bar here. Coach Troy Fetty from Madonna, sponsored by Rokiski, McCune, Wilhelm, and Blair. You got to talk to Danny McCune. We're going to be followed by Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen, sponsored by Pat Cheney, Sunoco Service Station in Chester. And then Mac McLean from the Brook Bruins will finish it up, sponsored by Vinsurance, Vinny Bologna. Coach, 2-1 with coming off a bye. I mean, don't know how to take that because it could go either way. You know what I mean? That's the way I think about it.
It was very productive for us. We had some bumps and bruises, and it's going to enable Logan Feddick to be able to play because he got his 12 practices in. It went by on Tuesday, was his 12th practice. We had a good fun. We never left our fundamentals, but we just emphasized a lot of stuff that we felt as a staff and as kids. We talked about what we didn't do well against Toronto, and we tried to fix those issues and then get ready for a very physical team and well-disciplined team against Steubenville Central. So that was, we gave them many practice. We practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit Friday, none at Friday. So they had time to heal. They had 3 days off, and we came back Monday, and we played Saturday. So we went right back into we had an install on Monday. Then today was the last super heavy day. We kind of deviated from our regular plan. We went helmet and shoulder pads a little bit today. We wanted to bang around a little bit just because we're going to get ready to face a team that's going to run the ball 78% of the time downhill. And we got to meet that physicality for us to have a chance. We have to be physical. We have to match it. We have to exceed it. And we have to use our team speed to get to the ball and surround all them good running backs and quarterback.
Right. So you take on Steubenville Catholic Central this week. They enter at 5-0. They defeated Wellsville 37-6, a like opponent with you. You defeated Wellsville 32-0, so similar score. Strasburg 30-0. Rosecrans 28-14. Ashtabula St. John 34-7, and they won this past week at Fairport Harbor 15-9. Now, we've gotten the opportunity to see them 3 of those games. We saw them against Strasburg, Rosecrans, and St. John. And, Coach, you hit it on the head. They're going to line up. They're going to run it between the tackles. They're going to run it straight at you. Looking at them as a team, knowing that's their strong point. But knowing they have a quarterback that can also is fully capable of pulling it and throwing it as well. How you defend against that?
Well, it's going to look a lot like 1987 because we're going to load the box and we're going to play man and we're going to get after it. They're going to have to push us around.
Right.
We're going to line up. I watched his show yesterday. He's right. We're going to load up. We're going to play over and under. We're going to load the box, and we are. There is no qualms about it. Everybody knows if you've seen us, we're going to blitz you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be ready for it. Someone in the band's going to play sometimes. Sometimes for us, sometimes for them. But we have to establish a new line of scrimmage. We have to swarm the ball. We got to make them get out of their comfort zone, which is running. He can throw a little bit, but I think they're a better running team. But he's extremely talented.
He's a good boy.
He's a good
boy. He had 33 carries the other night.
That's a lot.
And Coach Meek said, he'll have 34 on Saturday. So
yeah, we'll see.
We're gonna do that.
Whatever you got to do to win.
Absolutely.
We have a talented quarterback as well. He's a good runner and a good thrower. So we're matching up. This is it's a rivalry game. My kids call it the Holy War. It's my first time to be in this type of environment as a head coach. I'm super excited. Kids are super excited. You know, we've been so focused on the game, I didn't even know Ohio State and Notre Dame were playing until someone said that the other day. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, Steve will be on assignment.
Yeah.
I'll be on assignment then.
Yeah.
I will miss, unfortunately, but listen, I'll have two things going. Okay, I will have the Notre Dame Ohio State game on the big TV, but I also have your game on off to the side. But you know, that's not the only reason I'm missing. These guys are missing the point. We have my grandson
explain
this
yourself.
weekend, so I can't leave the wife with him for 2 nights in a row. So it's going to be me, the wife, and the grandson
There
on
you go.
Saturday night. So
Coach, no need. I played in this game, Central Madonna game, and everybody in my family did. I mean, it's a strong run. Only 30 times, I believe, they've played. Maybe not that many, but always a hard-hitting, aggressive, physical game. You know, no need for a pep talk for this game.
No, the kids are already flying high. We have our first pep rally tomorrow. You know, all the sports are getting pretty excited. It's small school, Ohio Valley football, and they're right across the bridge. And kids all know each other. I know Coach Meek pretty decently. He's well respected. He's state champion. He's always
he's won everywhere.
He's won everywhere he's been, and you know, I'm 3 games. It'll be 4 games into my career, and if I could hope to turn out like him, it would be great. We will be ready. We're going to represent Madonna High School, our community, and our kids are going to give a heck of a showing out there. And it's going to be physical. It's going to be a show. I would come, if anybody's listening to this, if you ain't got nothing to do, come up here with Jimmy Carey and have a good time.
Watching. They're watching this. But, Coach, I'm going to tell you, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Pleasure meeting you.
Yes, sir.
Wish you all the luck in the world. See you Saturday night.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yep.
Troy Fetty, what a beautiful time with you, Troy. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. We do this all the time. I'm into it.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're live here at Basil Sports Bar. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Are you tired of driving around town looking for a gas station that has everything you need? Well, look no further than Cheney Sunoco in Chester, West Virginia. Our friendly staff is here to help you with all your fuel and convenience store needs. We offer a wide selection of snacks, drinks, and other essentials to keep you fueled up and on the go. Plus, our gas pumps are always clean and well maintained, so you can fill up with confidence. Stop by Cheney Sunoco today and experience the best gas station in town. And Cheney Sunoco also offers auto repair and towing services through Cheney's Auto Repair and Towing, which is located right nearby. Overall, Cheney Sunoco is a one-stop shop for all your fuel and convenience store needs, with the added benefits of auto repair and towing services available nearby. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
We're back at Basil Sports Bar. Third segment. Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen, sponsored by Pat Cheney, Sunoco Service Station in Chester. First chance we get to talk to Coach Taylor. Welcome to the show, Coach. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you. Coach, tell us a little bit about your season to date. Give us a little rundown of what you've done today.
Well, we're improving. Let's put it that way.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the record, standalone record, I mean, of course it's not where you want to be right now. We've played an extremely tough schedule. I mean, so far to date, I think out of the combination of 4 teams we've played, there's only 1 loss with that group. But
that's great. As a point I was going to bring up, it's brutal for it. 16-1. Those teams are. Yeah, that's brutal.
It's a pretty tough schedule. But
who made your schedule up, Coach?
I think the AD did. It's gone. Good. But we're improving. I mean, I think we showed last week against Toronto a really good football team. We was able to run the ball for like 260 yards against them, and we still got to work on that passing game a little bit. But our season is getting better and better. As a football coach, that's what you're looking for is progression. You want to get better week in and week out, and I think they've showed that. You know what I mean? The kids have come to practice, they're excited, they work hard. We've actually cut the practice times down a little bit because they're working so hard. So, as far as their development, I'm pleased with it. As far as the wins, losses, we always have something to work with, work on.
Absolutely. Good attitude. I mean, I love the way you're coming off on that. You want to see improvement all the time, but the key for me is you telling me that your kids still want to practice. You know what I mean? They're looking forward to it, and that's helping. That's key in the improvement.
Yeah. I mean, when we try to make it loose, I mean, especially at the high school level, I mean, especially warm-ups and stuff, I mean, it's constant. I'm joking with them and talking to them, and we're talking about, what happened through school today and what we need to get better at, and just to try to keep it low key so they understand, hey, it's a game. It's truly a game, but we have a purpose. We're representing our school. We want to do the best we can, put our best foot forward, and get better day in, day out.
Coach, I had the opportunity to watch you a couple times this year. Against Toronto, you mentioned, I thought your defense did a good job stopping the run against Toronto. And you were able to get things going on the ground offensively yourself, as you had mentioned. Against Edison, I thought you played a good game in the first half. You guys played physical. I thought you matched their physicality in the first half. Just some guys that stood out to me in those games, just some names I'm throwing out there. Aiden Flowers, Anthony Burt, Logan Murray. Talk about those guys and talk a little bit about some of your other key contributors that you've had this year.
You're right. I mean, and I'll talk first about those games. I mean, we did the same thing against St. Mary's. Played a really good first half.
They're a very good football team.
We were up 13-0 at one point in that game. Ended up tying it. We gave up a late score. And then the second half, I mean, we just gave up. I don't want to use the word gave up. We just let them maul us. We just let them push us around. I mean, we didn't come out with a purpose, and we had the same performance as Edison. I mean, I thought we played really good in the first half. Although our offense was sputtering at times, it didn't do a whole lot. Our defense was holding us together, and I think we came out in the second half. They didn't do anything different. They didn't change any of their schemes, but they just flat out got on us and mauled us. So we focused on that. Talked to the kids after the game. We've talked to the kids, during practice about, you got to finish. I mean, there's only one thing you control is what you do, and you have to finish. You're either going to surrender or you're going to keep fighting. So it doesn't matter what the score is. On the player stand, I mean, we got some kids there I think can play football. I mean, our 2 inside linebackers keep getting better and better every day. Evan Clausen and Sam Wright. I mean, they're not real big. They're only 165, 175 pounds, but they are so quick, doing really good. You got Xavier Howard, which is a 2-year starter at defensive end, playing well for us. We got Greg Sowers playing at the weak side end, which this is his first year back for a while. He was out. Those kids do a really good job, defensively for us. They get after it. I mean, we spend a lot of time, probably more so on special teams and defense than I think than I've ever done in my years of coaching, and I think it shows. Our special teams have been really well covering the football. We've gotten great returns. So that's where we've been trying to focus our attention. Hey, offense, until we get it up and running, we're going to have to get field position, and we're going to have to do that through the special team. So, defensively, once again, they've been playing really well.
Right. So, your focus is, get stops, flip the field through your special teams, and then, hey, be patient with the offense, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Coach, how many kids you have on the team?
Well, we're right now sitting right around 30. At one time we had, if we had got everybody out, and Oakland did not have boys soccer for the last 2 years. So our numbers were up in the 30s last year. We lost probably, I don't know, maybe a handful, 5 to soccer that went to soccer that probably could help us, but once again, that is what it is. And then we had a couple kids that came out that hadn't played in a while, and they decided, that's not them. Football's not for everybody. That's why I tell everybody, it's not for everybody. It takes a certain type of kid once you go out there in August and working through the summer in July, taking up all your summer, working hard, wearing all that equipment. And I told the kids, listen, the guys that are here is the ones I want. You guys are the ones I want. You're the 30 that stuck it out. You're with me, and we're going to play this thing, to the end of the season.
Right. Good.
No, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, that's something you got to deal with at the school with kids going to play other sports and stuff. Kids are going to be happy, and they're going to find their own way. So I agree with you totally. The ones that are there are the ones you want, because I think you got to be a different type of kid to play football.
Well,
it's a tough man's game.
It forces you to coach a little bit different when your numbers are out there, because let's face it. Numbers is one thing. It looks good when you can dress 40 and 50 kids, but that develops competition. When you develop competition, those kids want to get playing time. So what happens is you end up getting better. Just through practice. When you don't have those numbers, sometimes it makes it difficult. But once again, kids are working hard, and we're seeing improvement.
Coach, how long you been at Oak Glen?
This is my second season.
Who's your assistant coaches? Talk about that.
I've been very fortunate, and that's really a hard thing nowadays. Anything is for coaches. It's hard to find good quality coaches, and I've been very fortunate. I got Ray Purnell's been with me for 2 years. He was with me at Madonna. He's our special teams coach. He helps on the offensive defensive line. I got Joe Petrovich, who came with me this year here. He was with me at Madonna, was with me at Weir High at one time, and also at Oak Glen when I was up with Tony Filberto. So he's got some knowledge behind the game. Scott Pryor is a defensive coordinator. He's been doing a good job. He's been on the staff at Oak Glen for probably 5 years. I got Josh Weltner, which he is the track coach, but he's our strength and conditioning coach. I didn't think that I would ever make a position just for that, but it is needed in this day and age. You need somebody who can work with those kids and get them bigger and stronger. And then I just got Clayton Flowers here before the season started. He played for me when I was at Oak Glen, probably in 2010, somewhere in there. Really good football player, knowledgeable. I'm really blessed to have him as well. So, the coaching staff, we don't have a lot of them, but I think what we have, we make up with quality.
Right. Now, Coach, we coached against one another for a period of time.
Pretty good games, too.
Yes, really good games. Right. So, looking back at those games, your offensive philosophy's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. You're running a little bit more of a wing T style offense now.
And I'm really not a wing T guy, for the most part, but it has its purpose. For me, we're looking at the players. If I'm going to run a zone scheme, it's going to depend on having big guards.
Right.
Guys can double chip off and stuff, and I don't really have that. Right. But I do have what I believe, and I swear to this day, they've got to be the quickest set of guards in the valley. They are on top of you before you know it. Now, they're going to make mistakes as far as maybe not attacking the right shoulder sometimes or looking inside, getting too certain, but they are quick. So we decided, hey, listen, since we don't have those big guards that we can handle that 250-pound three tech, we're going to go quick. We'll block down on them with bigger tackles, kick out. So that's kind of our philosophy right now, and we're really evolving into a lot of different concepts with those guards that I didn't think I'd ever do. We're pulling them on a lot of plays that we wouldn't before. We're pulling them on belly plays, getting an extra lead blocker, so they are so quick and getting on the linebackers. So it's worked out well. Once again, you try to play the offense that fits your players.
Absolutely.
And I'm a as well as I am. I'm a spread guy. I like tight end. tight end, single back, split, we're spread you out. We're going to throw the ball a little bit. We're going to run some zone, a little bit of quarterback run. But, we're just not there with the players we have right now.
Absolutely.
All right, man. It's been beautiful, Coach. Great talking to you. We're going to come back a little bit, talk about at Berkeley, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen, live on the High Valley Sports Online.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Are you tired of driving around town looking for a gas station that has everything you need? Well, look no further than Cheney Sunoco in Chester, West Virginia. Our friendly staff is here to help you with all your fuel and convenience store needs. We offer a wide selection of snacks, drinks, and other essentials to keep you fueled up and on the go. Plus, our gas pumps are always clean and well maintained, so you can fill up with confidence. Stop by Cheney Sunoco today and experience the best gas station in town. And Cheney Sunoco also offers auto repair and towing services through Cheney's Auto Repair and Towing, which is located right nearby. Overall, Cheney Sunoco is a one-stop shop for all your fuel and convenience store needs, with the added benefits of auto repair and towing services available nearby. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
All right, we're back here at Basil Sports Bar, segment 3, with Oak Glen coach Doug Taylor, sponsored by Pat Cheney Sunoco Service Station in Chester. Okay, Coach, coming up this week at Berkeley. Give us your thoughts on this.
Well, one thing is, one of those teams, somebody's coming out of there to win, because right now Berkeley Springs is sitting in the same position we are. They're 0-4. They've played a really tough schedule as well. They've played Fairmont East. They've played Kaiser. They've got some quality losses there against some really good football teams. So I know, we told our kids, listen, they're just as antsy and as excited about trying to get their first win as you are. So, they're a very good football team. They're coached by an Ohio Valley native, Wes Eddy, who's coached at Brook.
Okay.
He's coached around the state. He's their head football coach. This is his first year. Of course, they're having a little bit of growing pains, when you're trying to learn a new offense and a new defense, as Coach Eddy is putting in there. But they got some quality players, no doubt about it. They've got some returners from last year. The quarterback's a returner from last year. A wide receiver. They got a big running back. He probably goes at least 200 pounds. Tight end's 205, so they got some size up front, so they're going to give us some issues. But once again, we can't, pick who we're going to play against. The only thing we can do is pick on how we play. So,
Coach, how are they comparable size to you? School size.
School size, they're probably very similar to us.
Yeah, okay.
Size-wise, they're a double-A team, from the Eastern Panhandle, which is about a 3.5-hour trip for us, maybe 3 hours and 40 minutes. But I don't mind one trip a year, like that, to kind of get that team bonding a little bit and see how the kids react to it. And if you're good enough sometime down the road to get into a playoff, you may have to travel 3.5 hours of playoff games. So they got a little experience with it, and the coaches know how to handle it. So
right. Yeah, I was going to bring up the fact that, and you mentioned, some of the games they played, East Fairmont, Kaiser, and they also played Antrim from PA and Petersburg. So they've surrendered 189 points. 47.3 points per game, and only scored 27. So, as you said, somebody's got to come out there with a win, but it seems like a great opportunity for your team that's improving at this point to possibly get that breakthrough this week.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. They like I said, they are a very good football team, but they're a team that we definitely could play with. The only thing that worries me and concerns me right now is there's a tropical front moving up the eastern seaboard. They're predicted to get anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain. They have a natural turf, not synthetic turf, at where they're at. So, now you're going to have to deal with the weather, the element conditions, so that's going to be another battle, another fight that we're going to have to work through in that game. But once again, they're going to be fighting in the same position and on the same field with the same issues as we are. So, I think the team that probably makes the least amount of mistakes is going to come out there with a win.
Right.
Coach, what's your travel plans for that? What time are you going to have to leave?
Well, we're going to meet
tonight.
Yeah. We're going to meet the school Saturday morning early. We're going to take them down, let them up on a charter bus. We have a charter bus. We're going to take them, eat breakfast. Back on the road, stop at I think there's a road stop here in Friendsville, Maryland. It's big enough we can get out, do a real quick walkthrough, grab a little bit of lunch, get back on the bus, and go straight to Berkeley. And then hopefully we're there between 1:30 and 1:45.
How much different was your preparation just to travel? Just travel arrangements? You didn't prepare any differently for the week, did you?
The only thing we did differently was this week here, they gave us an extra day to prepare. I told those kids, I said, I'm used to working or playing Saturday games from being at Madonna. So it gives you an extra day. So we was able to get a lot of individual work and got them off the field early. But as far as like the preparation for the travel, this was already kind of planned out maybe a month or two ago. I mean, we've already had it figured out, hey, this is how we're going to do it. Originally, we were going to play a Friday night game. They're in the same boat as a lot of area officials. They don't have enough officials, so they couldn't get the officials for the game. We was going to play it Saturday night, and then I asked that they move it up to Saturday afternoon so that we could travel back home, be home by midnight or something. So, that's where we're at, 4 o'clock start Saturday.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck. Steve, you got anything else?
No.
Coach, I'll tell you, great to meet you. Great talking to you, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yep.
We'll see you down the road for sure. We'll be in touch. See you in 2 weeks for sure here at Basil Sports Bar for the West Virginia Coaches Show. Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen. Going to finish up this segment. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of driving around town looking for a gas station that has everything you need? Well, look no further than Cheney Sunoco in Chester, West Virginia. Our friendly staff is here to help you with all your fuel and convenience store needs. We offer a wide selection of snacks, drinks, and other essentials to keep you fueled up and on the go. Plus, our gas pumps are always clean and well maintained, so you can fill up with confidence. Stop by Cheney Sunoco today and experience the best gas station in town. And Cheney Sunoco also offers auto repair and towing services through Cheney's Auto Repair and Towing, which is located right nearby. Overall, Cheney Sunoco is a one-stop shop for all your fuel and convenience store needs, with the added benefits of auto repair and towing services available nearby. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Vinsurance. That's right, Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote, 304-479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
We're back at Basil Sports Bar. I want to feature one of our sponsors here. Really appreciative of the support you give us. Vince Bologna from Vinsurance, located in Fallsby, West Virginia. Vinny, I really appreciate you. I know you being active in the community. I mean, reaching out, working with the kids in edge basketball. Getting behind the local teams. It's a good thing what you're doing, Vinny. I want to really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Vinny, tell us a little bit about your business, how long you've been doing it, and what do you specialize in? I know you like to sharpen the pencils over there and get the best deals you can.
That's my job, is to get the best rates for all my clients. I'm located bottom of Highland Hills in Fallsby, right down the road from Brook High School. We do home, auto, commercial, life, health, any kind of insurance. But it's not just insurance, it's Vinsurance. I'm trying to put a twist on the game, on the industry. But you got to call. You got to call to get a rate. It's just like I tell all my clients, like you shop your milk and bread. You should shop your insurance all the time, and it's free to do. So why not call and get a rate? And no hard feelings if you don't want to make the transition or make the switch, but at least see where you stand in the industry. Right. So I encourage everyone to at least shop it, and it's an experience coming down to my office. I'll say that.
Well, I can vouch for that. I am one of your clients, and I agree totally with what you said on the fact of, it doesn't cost anything to shop around. Heck, I mean, like I known you through our buddy who passed away, Frankie Coolella, and I met you, maybe 5-6 years ago in another establishment, and Frank was doing insurance with you.
Yep.
And I said, "Can you do it?" He says, "You said give me a call," and then I forget all about it until I see you at the funeral. And I said, "Don't I know you?"
Frankie Cools, that was my main man. Grew up next door to him. He was like my second father, he was a great guy. Miss him, love him, the whole Colella family. But that's how this insurance thing works. You save someone so much money, and they leave walking out feeling happy, feeling safe, secure, and they had an experience. They leave laughing. They're going to tell everyone. They're going to tell their mom, aunt, uncle, neighbor, and then the word gets out. So, and that's how it happened with you and I.
Absolutely. How long have you been in business, man?
I've been doing this for 5.5 years. So
before that, your family was involved up around Star Lake. I remember I seen you up there one time.
Yeah.
Where was that? The Pepsi Roadhouse. Yeah.
A lot of good times, a lot of great memories were made back here. I worked up
there
13 years, and it was a great time.
So what kind of deals you got going on over there at your Vinsurance, man?
Why would you want to call?
You're an independent dealer. You taught me what that means. Talk about
did.
That.
So, there are some, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some carriers out there what you call captive. So they're going to give you one price and one price only. Whereas an independent agent like myself, I'm appointed with all these different carriers of which I shop you around to. So like a broker, I'm shopping you to capture the best rate. That's why you should always go through an independent agent like myself. But like I said, it's an experience. Give me a call.
come down to my office, 151 Archer Hill Road, Fallensby, West Virginia, located right down the road from Brook High School.
What number you got on that? Give the people a phone number.
Well, I was actually going to kind of make this a little interactive for your listeners tonight. I was going to tell you guys, if you're listening, shoot a text to 304-479-2928. And if you're listening tonight, shoot me a text of who you think or watching. Shoot me a text who you think the best high school football player is in the Ohio Valley. Shoot me the player's name, and when I receive that, I'm going to give you a free home and auto quote. Even if you don't own your home, I'm going to give you a free quote for auto. Shoot me a text, who's your favorite player? Again, it's 304-479-2928. Who's your favorite high school player in the Ohio Valley?
Now, Vinny, you're coaching basketball in the Edge Basketball League. I know you're involved at the termite level 1 and 2. You sponsor this program. You're active in the community. What's that mean to you personally?
It's fun. It's fun, coaching these kids. Half of them are taller than I am. I'm just a little guy, you know what I mean? So it's a good time. I moved, to Steubenville from Weirton, and we participated in all the Weirton leagues. I'm a Madonna alumni. But now we're grown up in the Big Red family, and it's great. The school systems are great. The kids are awesome, though. They keep me young.
Where's your little ones go to school at?
My little man's at Puglisi West. He loves it. My daughter's sophomore at Big Red, and they both transitioned very well from coming across the river.
That's important. That's important for
absolutely
going into a new school with kids, not wanting to leave their friends and things like that. Just an opportunity to make new friends.
And I got to tell you, I know this is a high school show, but I had to rock my Raiders gear because
Ben, I was going to comment.
I had to say it because I don't have one particular high school, and I love all the Ohio Valley schools. And I grew up right down the road from Brook, so I'm a Brook fan. I went to Madonna. I'm a Madonna fan. My main man, Malachi Strohmeyer, the quarterback of Weir High, I'm a Weir High fan. And we're growing up in the Big Red family. So I couldn't pick just one school. So I'm a diehard Raiders fan, and we got our home opener this Sunday night against Pittsburgh
I know that from the gym because I've seen you at the gym wearing your Raider gear. But I'm a Steeler guy. So when you came up wearing that, I was like, I don't want to sit too close to you.
It makes you feel better. But, yeah, I couldn't select just one high school. All these kids in Ohio Valley, they bust their butts. And they put a lot of work into the season. So
yes, they do. Yes,
I believe, I don't know if that's the case, but I really, really wish people would have that mindset of cheering for all the Valley teams. It's okay to have your team, no matter who you are, Weir High or Madonna, but we're all in this together, man. We're raising we're all raising our kids and grandkids, from the same water and stuff like that. So,
and these kids will realize it down the road. Growing up in the Madonna family, I still talk to my fellow teammates from high school. I mean, we graduated in 2001. I still talk to them to this day. Half of them are still in my fantasy football league, and even other kids from
Who's your
Brook.
quarterback in the fantasy?
I don't know. We had such a good time. I don't remember who I drafted. But with that being said, I still know people. I know people from Brook back in the day, and we're not just the school you grew up in, but the whole area. You'll establish relationships forever.
All right, man. Absolutely. It's Vinny Bologna from Vinsurance. Give me that number one more time, Vinny.
304-479-2928. Again, shoot me a text with your favorite high school football player in the Ohio Valley with your chance, and I'll give you a free quote.
Take it from me. He'll sharpen them pencils for you and get you a good deal, man. So
the best
appreciate
deal.
you stopping by, man.
Thank
Always
you, sir.
good seeing you.
Thank you, guys.
See you in a couple of weeks.
I'll see you in the
for
morning.
Sure. Vince Bologna from Vinsurance here at Basel Sports Bar, the West Virginia Coaching
That's right,
Show.
Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote. 304 479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Okay, we're back here at Basil Sports Bar, final segment here, sponsored by Vinsurance. Vinny Bologna. Just got a chance to talk to him, but Coach Mac McLean from the Brook Bruins, really, really good to meet you. And you know what? And I want to congratulate you on weathering the storm at Brook. You know,
I appreciate that.
You've been getting your brains beat in a little bit, but, you know, it's come to fruition this year. You got the big senior group.
Yes, sir.
You know, you're off to a quick start. Happy as heck for you. Got to see you on TV against Indian Creek.
Yes, sir.
You know, they played you tough for a half, but you exploded for two quick ones in the second half. Let's just talk about, you know, like I said, you weathering this storm, you know, like trying to bring, you know, you're working hard at it with a great tradition at Brook High School. And let's just talk about you coming back and, you know, weathering the storm and now having a senior group.
Well, I can say this from, you know, experience. When that storm's coming, you know it's coming.
Yep.
You know it's coming. And, you know, I had some quick success there in my first 2 years. You know, second year we had some D1 kids. You know, we made the state quarterfinals. But you knew it was coming. And personally, as a coach, you got to make a decision at that point. When you tell the kids you love them and you're going to stick by them, or you're going to stick by them, or you're going to take your ball and you're going to go home. And, you know, I'm pretty good friends with a coach in the Valley that could put me on his coaching staff anytime I wanted to. And,
I hear you.
you know, I just I made a decision that I was going to dig in. I knew that there were rough times ahead. And, you know, I had guys, you know, jump off the ship on me. I had a whole bunch of guys jump off the ship on me. But, you know, if you're in it for the kids, you need to stand by them. And, you know, a lot of those really poor teams and you know, as far as records go, those are some of the bravest kids that I've ever coached.
There you go.
I mean, you know, we were still in the track conference. You're playing Park, John Marshall, Morgantown, University, Parkersburg South, and then your non-conference is Huntington and Steubenville, and you know, kids don't believe everything you tell them anymore. You know, there were no illusions. But
they're smarter than we were.
Yeah, but those boys, you know, those boys from those teams showed up for me every week, and they went out there and they knew they were facing long odds. And I never really had like a mutiny. I never had a bunch of kids quit on me or walk off the team on me. And you know, it's hopefully it's paying off now. But we got a long way to go.
I understand that, but you're off to a quick start. You know, it gives you a little bit. You know, sometimes I think false confidence is good confidence anyway. Yeah. Whether you're any good or not, if you're winning, you know, you're winning. You know, I believe in that totally. But I'm just happy for the fact that you weathered the storm, and you know, I got to see you play against Creek, like I said, and you got a senior group that's enjoying some success right now.
Yeah, and it's and so many of them started in the 9th grade for me. That, you know, it's going to be hard when they leave. I can tell you that. But it's good to see that group that I've had like 25 kids that have committed for 4 years and done just about everything I've asked them to do. And, you know, you can always ask them to do a little bit more. They didn't do everything I asked them to do, but they stuck with it, and they remind me of the groups that were there when I was there, you know.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, you're at your alma mater. I mean, I think I compare you to what Steubenville Central is experiencing right now,
Yeah.
where their offensive line were all big kids,
Yeah.
and they played as freshmen.
Yeah.
And they got their brains beat in for 3 years,
Yep.
and now they're seniors, and they're finally experiencing some success. And being in coaching, that's all you want.
Yeah.
You know, success is measured in different ways,
Yeah.
for different teams, and that's what I'm happy about is the kids that stuck out with you are enjoying some success,
Yes, sir.
not making you a liar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
And it's ironic that you bring up Indian Creek because I think Andrew Connor's been going through the same thing.
Absolutely.
And I told him when the game was over a few weeks ago, I said, buddy, you guys are going to be hell on wheels.
Yeah.
And I said, and he's brought them along. He started those young linemen, big linemen when they were young, and Indian Creek's going to make a mark next year. I can tell you that much.
well, I hope for he's a perfect gentleman,
Yes.
Andrew Connor. I mean, he comes on our show week after week, and I let him talk because I don't know what to say. He's just dealing with all these losses, and we wish Indian Creek well.
I'll say this: being a guy that's gone through a lot of losses, you'd be amazed how much support you get from the coaching community, from head coaches. Like right off the top of my head, Ted Arnaud. When in days when he was struggling, I'd be driving home and I'd send him a text message. When I'm going through my 0-10 season, I get a big long paragraph from him, and also have my brother and Andrew and those guys because. Nobody really knows except the guys who know. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why we call it a fraternity because, and that's why I never wanted to speak sourly about any other coach when he was down in the dump because why throw dirt on him? You know what I mean? It might be your turn in the bucket next time. You know what I mean? So, it is a fraternity, and I got a lot of love for you. I never met you, but I wrote that down that I wanted to thank you for coming, and I wanted to congratulate you for weathering the storm. That was my key.
Thank you, sir.
Stevie.
So Coach, at this point, you sit at 3-1. Week 1, you beat Ripley 48-0. Week 2, win over Indian Creek 28-7. Week 3 was a big victory, 14-9 over University, who just this past week knocked off Wheeling Park.
Yes, sir.
Last week, you suffered your first loss at North Marion. Both teams entered that game undefeated.
Yeah.
Now, in the University game, so rewind a little bit. In the University game, your defense forced 5 turnovers.
Yes.
I thought they played very well in the Indian Creek game, containing Zion McGee, one of the top backs in the Valley this year.
Yeah.
I've been impressed so far, the opportunities I've had to see you play with your quarterback, Braylon Sperringer. But I'm very, very impressed with the play of your offensive and defensive lines. Talk just for a minute about those players and others that have been key contributors up to this point.
I mean, I think our defense is it's just a springboard from last year. I mean, I think we underachieved a little bit last year, but statistically we ended up the number 6 ranked defense in AAA last year, and I think Coach Sadler, my defensive coordinator, takes a lot of pride in that, and those kids put a big chip on their shoulder that we want to be better than we were last year, and so far our defense has had 3 very good games, and we went down to North Marion, and I think it was a combination of things. North Marion's a very good football team, first of all. And second of all, and this is something that I've said to my team, it's not a secret, I don't think we dealt with success very well. We won 3 games, we beat a team we haven't beaten in 7 years, team of the week, play of the week, and we spent a whole week with everybody telling us how good we were, and we're trying to bring them back down to earth, and we slept next thing you know, and against a team like North Marion, you can't get down by 3 scores on their home turf, or you're going to drive home upset like we did last week.
Right.
Our offensive line, it's still a work in progress. I mean, we weren't able to run the ball at all last week against North Marion, and we've moved some guys around. We've pulled some of the guys off that defensive line this week, and they're going to be on the offensive line this week because we can.
Your coaches and the coaches that have stayed with you.
I have a great group of coaches. Jeremy Sadler is my defensive coordinator, and Ryan Sherrick is my offensive coordinator. I've known both those guys since I was probably 6 years old. They're Brook alumni. They had successful careers there. One of the hardest things to do with the offense over the last 2 seasons is I finally let go of a little bit of control. finally, I was doing too much.
Tough to do.
I was micromanaging,
Tough to
and
do.
it took me a while to find a guy that I trusted that I could just say, here, I'm going to stay out of your business. You're going to put an offense together, and I've been very happy with Coach Sherrick. And then the other guys, I got Cody Hudson, who played quarterback for me my first 2 years. He had a career out at West Liberty. He's come in. He's coaching the secondary. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know that coaching's in his future, but he's going in the medical field. But you want to talk about a young man that has head coaching potential all over him. Cody Hudson's that guy. Mike Baczynski is my one of my best receivers. Anthony is his son. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He sits in. He helps in the off season constantly. He helps with football. He helps with baseball. He helps with anything. If I'm sitting in the coach's office and I say, we got to get something out, a message out, he's got it typed up. And he shows it to me. Do you want me to put it on band? Boom, he hits it, and it takes a lot of pressure off. And I don't want to. I don't know. I got time to mention all 14 of them, but they've stayed in the trenches. They've taken the arrows, and hopefully we can get a postseason berth this year and get a big payoff out of it.
Well, we wish you the best of luck,
Yes.
Coach. You got a big senior class. How many kids you got out on the football team?
Right now, I think our numbers are around 66, and
That's a beautiful number.
And I think 25 of them are seniors.
Wow.
Now, I mean, a couple weeks ago, the National Guard came and we're going to wear their jerseys, and they took all of our seniors down the other end, and they were having a photo shoot, and they left up what was left up there in front of us, and there's nothing wrong with what was left up in front of us, but all 11 guys on my offense are seniors.
Made you look at the future.
Yeah, I think 8 of my 11 on defense are seniors. So there is going to be a very, very big rebuilding process. But hopefully the state of West Virginia is going to reclassify us this year, and hopefully we're going to be able to play some schools that are a little bit closer on enrollment and not have to put so much gas in the bus to find opponents. If they can just drop us down a level, we can play games that people want to come see. I mean, I think people would show up to watch Brook High School in Martins Ferry play a football game. I think that would be a big one. And no, I'm not playing my brother, but there's a lot of schools around here that you would have games, you would have an atmosphere, the schools would make money instead of driving to Hampshire and Princeton and Ripley and places like that. And hopefully that'll happen, and hopefully the benefit will be we can, not just in football, but in all the sports at Brook, we can finally get back.
Can you make that
to
happen,
spot.
Coach, or is that totally a state decision?
That's we have to submit numbers in the fall, and then they'll announce the reclassifications sometime in the spring, and the next year if they decide to have 4 classes, we'll be playing hopefully in the
But nobody's petitioning them to do that.
Well, I mean, I think enough people in the state have complained. You've got teams in the AAA division right now that are putting together schedules that aren't playoff eligible. You've got teams that are playing each other twice. And I think that's a sign to the SSAC, like, you got to let some of these guys in the bottom 5 or so breathe. I mean,
exactly.
Somebody's always going to end up at the bottom of their division, but nobody should have to live there for 15 years. I mean, it's sad, to be honest with you.
I agree. And you talk about, playing Martins Ferry and things like that. Mm-hmm. We talk about Andrew Conner. We talk to Andrew Conner all the time about every single week.
Yeah.
He has a tradition-laden opponent,
Yes.
somebody that he has had history with over the years, and that makes it easier in so many ways that we can't even touch on how many ways that makes it easier and better for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. That's why kids play, and that's why guys like me coach. I mean, we've got Watkins Memorial, out-of-town team, and then, of course, Bridgeport, West Virginia the week after that, which is going to be a mountain to climb, and then we're going to go Oak Glen, John Marshall, Wheeling Park, and then I'm going to play Frank over there. So that part of our schedule's coming, and it's graded. It's at the end of the year.
That'll be a fun part for you.
That'll be a fun part for us, and like you say, every game means something. It's not just playoff points. It's the people who live around here.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about your upcoming game with Watkins Memorial.
Absolutely.
Vinsurance. That's right, Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote, 304-479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance. a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Okay, we're back live here with the Ohio Valley Sports Online West Virginia Coaches Show from Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton, West Virginia. We're here now with Coach Mac McLean, the head coach at Brooke High School. Coach, this week you host Watkins Memorial. They come into the game at 4-1. Their wins have come over Worthington Kilbourne, 21-0, Tays Valley, 28-7, Northridge, 35-0, and Johnstown, 41-0. Their lone loss came in week 2 versus a 5-0 Sheridan team, 24-19. They've only given up 26 points on the season in those 5 games.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts. Okay, we could. First of all, I did coaching in Ohio with my brother as long as I did. I'm familiar with Sheridan, and I know what they are. So that's not a shocker. They're a juggernaut over there. Speaking about them as a team, from what I've seen on film, ultra aggressive on defense. Ultra aggressive. They're sending people from every direction. They crowd the line of scrimmage. It costs them at times because they do get procedure penalties, and like I've said to Coach Sherrick, I think that we're going to have to use their aggression against them. They do at times get themselves out of position because they are so aggressive, and that's what we're going to try to do. That's what we're going to try to capitalize on. Offensively, I don't know the young man's name who plays tailback for him. He's not a giant kid. He's about 5'8". I think he's about 180 pounds. And if the second guy doesn't get him on the ground, he's going to be standing in the end zone. He is a legitimate home run hitter. He can fly. He runs the zone. He'll cut it all the way back. He'll bounce it outside. He's got a low center of gravity. You watch guys try to whip him to the ground. He spins off. He keeps his feet, and he goes 40 more yards down the field. On top of that, they've got a quarterback who is very mobile. I don't think they like to run him a lot. He can run, but what he does do is he scrambles, he creates extra time, and he's got a pack of receivers that know how to work with him. They'll work back to him. There's so many times I've seen on film where the team has him just about dead, and then he flips his wrist and he makes a 15-yard completion over the middle because his receivers, they've obviously, I don't even know their head coach's name, but they're obviously been very well coached because they don't just sit there and watch their quarterback get sacked. Right. They give him opportunities. So I think the first thing we've got to do is stop number 16. I don't think you're going to stop that kid all day, but we got to make it a rough day for him. Mm-hmm. And one place I will brag on my defense a little bit is we're very fast at linebacker. Our linebackers aren't big kids, but they fly to the ball and they tackle pretty good, and that helped us against a Zion McGee, and we're going to need that help against some of the more backs we're going to face. But I'm going to say that this young man's the best back I've seen so far, and until Bridgeport next week, because their back's a handful too. But I don't think that we have to play a perfect game. I don't think it's one of those things. But we got to find that fourth quarter that we had against University, and we got to play like that 1, 2, 3, and 4, right, because that's the kind of effort it's going to take Saturday afternoon to be successful.
Gotcha. Right?
And I love it, man, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Great talking to you, man. Can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you coming. Wish you the best of luck this week, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, that's going to do it here from Basel Sports Bar. It's Coach Mac McLean from the Brook Bruins. Had a big game this week, hosting Watkins Memorial. Okay, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we'll go on air about 6:45 from Cartwright Stadium. Edison hosting Toronto in a big matchup, 5-0, 4-1. Thanks for watching tonight. Until then, we'll see you. Bye-bye.